Bynum takes the kickoff. Hit hard at about the 26-yard line, and the Chargers will begin from there. Led by Eric Kramer, making his third start at quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, fourth game of the season for him. He has yet to lose as the QB here in San Diego. Up front for him, one change on the line. Raleigh Roundtree starts at right tackle in place of the injured Vaughn Parker. The backs and receivers, Natron Means, both ankles banged up, but he's in there. McCrary, Graham, and Ricks are the wide receivers. Freddie Jones, the second-year man, is the tight end. First down for the Chargers from the 28-yard line. That's Means, and they run the reverse. Michael Ricks. Ricks picks up 4 yards before the Green Bay defense snips him out. Vaughn Booker led the charge, and he leads the charge up front. 3 sacks for the bookend. Bonnie Holiday's the other end. Gilbert Brown, Billy Lyon in, replacing Santana Dotson at tackle. Brian Williams, Bernardo Harris, and George Kuhn. So the linebackers make that. The corners, Tyrone Williams and rookie Mike McKenzie. Darren Sharper and Leroy Butler are the safeties. Second down for the Chargers. The pitch to Kenny Bynum. Gets the first down. Pushed out of bounds by Brian Williams.
And we see Kenny Bynum in the game right now, not Natron Means. Natron Means been banged up by an ankle injury most of the season. Hasn't really been himself. But you're going to see this is a new play in this league. Just a pitch. You fake the ball to the fullback and you get it outside. Bonnie Holiday all over that play, but you see the speed by Bynum getting to the corner, and another missed tackle by the Green Bay defense. And that's something that played this team all week long.
Mike Riley, in his first year as head coach in the National Football League, got his Chargers off to a 4-1 start. 13 yards on that last pickup by Bynum. Natron Means this time. And Means finally brought down once again. Brian Williams with the tackle, but only after another first down, 12 yards that time.
Well, Natron Means had a lot of success here in San Diego years ago. Went off to Jacksonville. In fact, this is Natron Means, right between the tackles. A power runner picking his spots. Didn't really look like the Natron Means we're used to seeing last week because of that injury, except on the 5-yard touchdown run, where he took it inside to the line of scrimmage. There was nothing there. And then the ability that he has to bounce at the outside. He scored last week. He showed flashes a week ago. He said it's the healthiest he's been all season.
First down for the Chargers from the Green Bay 43. Means alone in the backfield. Gets it again. This time stopped at the line of scrimmage by Vaughn Booker. The Green Bay defense talking about how they know this week tackling is something they have to work on. Ray Rhodes put them in pads twice this week, which is something he said he had not done all season.
Well, it was embarrassing last week. Not only the whole team of performance, but there was opportunities to make plays in the secondary last week. And it wasn't just, the young guys. It wasn't Antoine Edwards or Vincent Smith. It wasn't any of those guys. It was guys like Leroy Butler and Brian Williams, veterans that were missing tackles as well.
Kramer's first pass attempt sails high, incomplete. Tyrone Williams had it hit his hand, could have had an interception, but could not haul it in.
Looked like that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage and changed its course. You see the pass is going to be going right over here into the slant. Eric Kramer looking at it all the way, 3 steps. That ball got tipped by Billy Lyons, the defensive tackle today. And out here on the outside, you see Jeff Graham, his favorite target. You saw the ball got misdirected.
Packers with 6 defensive backs in the game. Chargers need to get to the 33-yard line for the first. Kramer had time and ran out quickly. Bonnie Holiday, his first sack of the season.
Well, and I know Bonnie Holiday has been frustrated this season. Had 8 sacks the first 12 weeks last year. Here he is up here. He's going to rush outside John Jackson, and they come inside as Kramer gets flushed from the pocket. I mean, just a great effort by Bonnie Holiday there.
So after this sack, Darren Bennett on to attempt the punt. Good hang time guy, one of the best in the league for the former Aussie. I guess he's still Australian, hasn't changed nationalities yet.
He still talks funny.
Desmond Howard back to receive for the Packers. Howard injured the ring finger on his right hand in practice this week. Dislocated it, so he's playing in pain. Doesn't know exactly what he can do. He called for the fair catch here at the 10-yard line. 38 yards on the punt. Fair catch by Howard. Packers begin from there. Scoreless in the first. To the air right away, Bill Schrader. 3 yards on the play. Brett Favre, well, he's about to put his name into the record books because as of today, coming into this one, the Eagles, Ron Jaworski, has started 116 consecutive games. That was a record for a quarterback. But now Brett Favre is right on his heels. Today in San Diego, Favre with his 115th consecutive start.
And Brett wouldn't like it any other way. I can't imagine Brett Favre not dressing and playing for a football game or standing on the sideline. You know, the consummate pro loves being out there.
He goes to the air, intended for Schrader, incomplete. His streak of starting games is absolutely amazing for a quarterback, but it helps when you've got the guys up front to protect you. And this week, he's got Verba, Mike Wall back at left guard. He was at right tackle last week when Earl Dotson was out, but Dotson is back in despite a bulging disc in his back. The backs and receivers for the Packers. Dorsey Levens, whom we talked about earlier. William Henderson, Schrader and Freeman, the receivers. Tyrone Davis is the tight end.
And I think that's a big guy that they get back. Right tackle Earl Dotson. When he's healthy, he's a very good right tackle in this league. And Brett knows how valuable he is.
Packers need to get the ball to the 20-yard line for the first. Favre going up top right away, intended for. That's Corey Bradford, broken up by Terrence Shaw.
Well, it's pretty clear what Brett Favre's strategy is today. Go after these cornerbacks, these backup cornerbacks of San Diego. Testing them early with a lot of speed. Here it is. Corey Bradford working on Terrence Shaw. And Bradford has to step on him early. The ball kind of hangs a little bit, and it gives Shaw a great opportunity to get back. That's textbook right there. Corey Bradford, one of the bright spots last week in a dismal effort by Green Bay, 157-yard reception, the longest of his career last week.
Chris Penn back to take the punt from Louis Aguilar, who was one of the bright spots for the Packers last week. Averaged over 51 yards on 7 punts up there in Denver in that rarefied air. This one not quite that long. Penn from his 48. Into Packer territory. Pushed out of bounds by Jeff Thomason. 38 yards on the punt. 14 on the return. I lost 3 straight for the first time since 1980. Miami holds on against the Eagles. Dallas beats Washington. Tampa Bay 6-3 winners over the Chicago Bears in a typical NFC Central game.
Yeah. Detroit and Tampa Bay now log jammed at 3-3.
Natron Means out to the 37-yard line. Bernardo Harris with the tackle. Denver falls short against New England. St. Louis just keeps on rolling. The Rams now 6-0. The Giants put up 31 points on New Orleans, and Indianapolis doing the same thing over the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, and anybody that doesn't think that St. Louis is for real, they look at them beating Cleveland and Atlanta. That team is for real, and that's a problem.
Natron Means in real pain right now.
Yeah.
He's had both ankles bothering him all season, and he's gone out here less than 5 minutes into this one. Kramer to the air.
Got him.
Reggie Davis. Pass intended for him, but Leroy Butler gets a hand in on it just before the ball gets there.
Boy, what great protection this time for Eric Kramer. I mean, what a wall in front of him to be able to throw this touch pass. Look at the group up front right now. Do a nice job on Green Bay's up front group here. I mean, no penetration anywhere. They're eating up the stunts. Aaron Graham back in there at left guard looks good. Boy, Leroy Butler, nice job in coverage because that was 6 points. That was...
He had Davis right in stride. 3rd and 6 for the Chargers. They need to get to the Green Bay 33 for the first. Out of the shotgun. Complete to Terrell Fletcher, and the former Wisconsin Badger comes close to the first down, depending on the spot. Tyrone Williams with the tackle.
Yeah, nice help this time in the protection from the running back to the right side right here. You're going to see Kenny Bynum coming over here and chipping right here on Vaughn Booker. Watch this little pop right there. That's on McKenzie. I'm sorry. McKenzie, and it keeps the backside of Eric Kramer clean, protected, and able to convert that 3rd down.
They needed 6. They got 6.5, so it's a first down for the Chargers. The pitch, Kenny Bynum. Bynum hit the backfield. Brian Williams with the tackle. His third tackle of the game already.
Brian Williams, the guy that the new defensive coordinator Emmett Thomas said is going to be a superstar in this league. In the same breath that you mentioned, Junior Seau had an interception last week. Wasn't fooled on this play. You can see the fullback go to the left and the pitch go to the right. Find a little misdirection, get those linebackers running. It never happened.
Williams, the Packers' leading tackler, gets him for a 3-yard loss. Tremaine Stevens, the lone setback. Ball tipped once again. Reggie Davis makes a nice one-handed grab. Not bad for the rookie out of Washington. Just his second catch of the season.
I'm watching the offensive line. You know, last week they played a lot of young guys. You can see Aaron Taylor, former Green Bay Packer, back in at left guard. Watch this left side go for cut blocks here. They're going to try and get the hands down, and Kramer's got to get rid of this ball quickly. Nice catch by Davis. The offensive lineman changing things up front. That time, cut block that time, get the hands down, the ball's out quickly.
The Chargers have had trouble putting points on the board in the first quarter since the first game. The next 4, they have not scored a single point in the first quarter. Movement all over the place on 3rd down and 11. It's going to be a false start.
False start on the quarterback. Coming without the ball. Coming out without the ball.
Bob McElwee, our referee today.
5 yards, 3rd down.
Mike Riley said he can't really believe he's here, a head coach. He was playing a preseason game against San Francisco this year, and his wife said, Mike, Jerry Rice is going to be on the field today. You know, and he's on the field today watching Brett Favre. I mean, he's a fan as much as a coach.
Well, he needs to watch his team get to the Green Bay 23-yard line for a 1st down now. Kramer rolling out, got a man open, pass complete. That's Jeff Graham. It's going to be close, though. Doesn't look like he got it. They're going to have to measure this to find out whether or not he got the necessary yards they needed. 16.
I was watching the reaction of the bench from San Diego, and everybody pumped their fist up in the air because what a relief it is to have a veteran quarterback in there this year as opposed to last year when they were playing the rookie Ryan Leaf or Craig Wellington. Veteran guys that can make those decisions now.
And not only that, Eric Kramer played with Jeff Graham in Chicago. There's a comfort factor between those two guys as quarterback and receiver.
He said, you know, it's like I can find him blindfolded. It's just a body language that I can feel from Jeff. And his whole career, Jeff Graham's career, has been resurrected here in San Diego. Was in New York and Philadelphia the last couple of years and really wasn't a big part of the game plan.
He's going to be just that much short of the 1st down. Wide open. Looks like he ran his route just a hair shorter than he should have.
He had room to get it, too. That's what's upsetting it to him. You see, Jeff Graham is going to find the open spot in the zone right here. Good protection as it's a semi-rollout to the right. Nobody's around Jeff Graham. He knew he was going to get hit from the safety there, Sharper. But had he known he had that much space, he should have gotten that 1st down. I don't know where the chains are at.
Chargers going to go for it on 4th down. This is the first time all year they've tried a 4th down. They've got 2 tight ends in the game. Fred McCrary up front. Tremaine Stevens deep in the eye. Stevens gets the 1st down. Mike McKenzie gets the tackle, but it's only after the Chargers make the conversion.
I noticed they ran away from Gilbert Brown in the middle of the line, and that was a good decision. Here's Gilbert right here, a run stopper. They're going to run right behind the right side here. You got Raleigh Roundtree, and out pulling right there, Domingo Graham. A couple good young linemen here in the San Diego team. Number 71 there, Domingo Graham. Nice effort last week against a very good Seattle defensive line.
1st down for the Chargers. 2 tight ends in once again. Kramer this time to the air. Stevens with the catch. Gets it down to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 6.
We spent a lot of time with Eric on Friday. And what a comfortable, confident guy he is. I mean, when he left Chicago this year, it was brewing with controversy, and he thought it was a bad move. And, well, he was upset at the whole world. And it didn't take him long to get to San Diego, get out at that training facility with Mike Riley, and be around this group of guys to say, this is the best team I've ever been on. And he fits in here.
Picks up 6 yards, 2nd down for the Chargers. Stevens once again. Tremaine Stevens holds on to that football. Mike McKenzie with the tackle. picks up another 4 yards. Looks like that ball almost popped out right there.
Well, I'm looking at the guys on the offensive line, and they're pumping their fists in the air as they think they got this first down. And this is the maligned group now. They've had a lot of changes in the offensive line. That was Aaron Graham coming around. Fred McCrary, the fullback, 44 in there chipping. And this team came in today the worst rushing offense in the league. You know, and that's Joe Bugle, the offensive line coach, former coach of the Hogs and head coach in Arizona. Takes a lot of pride in this line. And a lot of it is the injuries to Natron Means and juggling running backs. But, I mean, Joe Bugle's a guy that's going to run the football any way that he can. And he knows how important it is to the success of the whole team.
Well, once again, they're about that much short of the first down. This time it's 3rd down and 1 to go.
It's nice when you have a former head coach and a successful offensive line coach on the sidelines helping out a young rookie coach in Mike Riley.
Chargers with 2 tight ends in right now. The Packers on defense, the worst in the NFC on 3rd down. So far, the Chargers 1 for 3 today. This is their 4th conversion attempt already.
And it's hot out here today, Kurt. I think they've been on the field already a lot today. They know they need to get off the field on 3rd down.
10th play of the drive. Play action. Pass caught. Michael Ricks, 1st down Chargers.
Wow. That's an experienced piece of work by Eric Kramer, because that was not his target. It wasn't his 1st or 2nd target. Green Bay does a nice job of covering the tight end of the backfield and Fred McCrary right here. But here's Michael Ricks coming across the middle, and he's like another tight end at wide receiver. I mean, Darren Sharper is on him, lets him release them to the zone here, but Michael Ricks at 240 pounds is a huge target in the middle of the field.
Play number 11 on this drive. 1st and goal from the 7. Tremaine Stevens gets maybe a yard. Bernardo Harris with the tackle. The Packers defense on the field a lot this week. They were on the field a lot last week in Denver. 45 minutes. The Denver offense held the ball.
Now here's Emmett right here, who was with Ray Rose as a defensive coordinator the last 4 seasons and had some success there in Philadelphia, especially the first 2 seasons, when really with a bunch of rejects and misfits and walk-ons and guys that came right off the street went to the playoffs 2 years in a row. And Ray can get mad at that dumb now.
Chargers have done well on goal-to-go offense this season. Kramer to the end zone, intercepted. Mike McKenzie, his 2nd interception of the year, picks off Eric Kramer in the end zone and kills the Charger drive. The long drive comes up at no point for San Diego. Green Bay takes it over.
So what will happen to all this now that you're going virtual?
We're not going virtual.
Well, I read you're getting into internet trading, online cash management.
Well, we are, yes.
The end of an era.
Not at all. Online trading and the rest of it are simply new tools we're making
don't have to
available.
He floats it in there, easy pick for the rookie McKenzie. And the reaction here, Emmett Thomas in the booth. You know, they really dodged one right there. And last week they had similar success down the goal line against Denver. Denver had the ball 1st and goal from inside the 5 7 different times.
They had it at the half-yard line at first. 1st and goal.
They kept him out of there, and I asked Ray, you know, did that give your team a surge? Keeping Denver out of there. He goes, no. He goes, I knew we were flat last week, and guys had cotton mouth and were walking off the ball. The coaches weren't excited. We'll see if that turnover right there in the end zone can energize this team.
So Favre and the Packers take it over from the 20. Dorsey Levens stopped at the line of scrimmage. Norman Hand with the tackle. Hand, one of the big guys up front for the San Diego Chargers. If not a well-known front four, certainly a solid front four. Ray Lee Johnson, Corella, and Hand the tackles. Al Fontenot, Junior Seau, Tracy Simeon, and Lou Bush are the linebackers. Shaw and Jimmy Spencer the corners. Dumas and Greg Jackson are your safeties. To the air, Favre. Got a man open. Antonio Freeman tiptoes the sideline.
You say he's out of bounds, Kurt.
At the 44-yard line, he touched out of bounds. But what a catch by Antonio Freeman. What a throw by Brett Favre.
Just a straight streak right down the right sideline. Brett's favorite target, and Brett said yesterday, I need to get Free involved in this game early. Because when he gets involved early, he gets a feeling for it. He's working against Jimmy Spencer, the backup cornerback, filling in for Darrell Lewis today, and they've gone after him earlier today in this ball game, and I think they should.
Well, they get him for 35 yards on that play. First down for the Packers from the 44. Dorsey Levens once again tripped up in the backfield. Going to lose 5 yards on that one. Ray Lee Johnson.
Kurt, I said at the outset that what this defensive line does is they reestablish the line of scrimmage. They push it backwards. And Ray Lee, this time from his right end position right here, is going to get penetration against Ross Burba. Comes right inside him, slips him right into William Henderson, the fullback. And that's the penetration that Joe Pascal, the defensive coordinator, has been talking about all week. How important that is.
Officially, it's a 4-yard loss. Second and 14 for the Packers. Play action. Once again to the corners. Bill Schrader gets the feet in, makes the grab. Well, they're working those outright routes, and they're working those cornerbacks this weekend.
Well, he called this audible at the line of scrimmage. He's going to give himself a signal. You're going to see him take his left hand. He's patting his rear end right there, telling the guys what he's going to do because it's so loud in here, so he's just giving them a signal. This is the hardest throw in football. Across the wide part of the field, look at Schrader turns around, that ball's in the air way before that. Right on the money. Ref looks like he has a pretty good rhythm early today.
22 yards on the reception by Schrader. Packers, 3 receivers in the game. Handed off to Levens. Dorsey Levens gets 3 yards. Norman Hand with the tackle.
I know there's a couple of schools of thought here, you know. I mean, this Charger defense is the signature of this team. They started getting this identity last year when Ryan Leaf was the quarterback, and they knew that they weren't going to win football games. They knew we were going to struggle every week, so they said, once they got to that #1 status, they wanted to maintain that status, and they have through the end of last year and into this year, and they're off of 9 turnovers this year. They've only given up 14 points.
They need to stand tall here. Play action. Favre with time. To his tight end, Tyrone Davis, inside the 10-yard line. Packers marching. 14 yards on the pickup.
Tyrone Davis runs like a wide receiver. What he doesn't have is the experience and the teamwork with Brett Favre like Mark Chimera has. But Davis is the man now. They've only completed 1 pass to a tight end the last 3 weeks. This is the second. Davis just sitting down in the hole, in that hole created by the zone defense.
Packers inside the 10, first and goal from the 9. Dorsey Levens. Can't find the lane, picks up maybe a yard. Greg Jackson in on the tackle.
I was watching Junior Seau in practice. That guy is relentless in practice the way he is in the game. Nice tight shot of him. Watch him work now. Working upfield against the tight end Thomason. He keeps coming behind him. Never gives up on the football play. You never know where he's going to show up. You know, a lot of people have accused Junior of being a freelancer. He takes chances. He plays his own game. Nothing really is further from the truth, especially this year. To him, knowledge is power, and he studies the game harder than he ever has, and it pays off on Sunday.
Packers have Dorsey Levens set out wide to the top of your screen, now in motion. Favre to William Henderson into the end zone. Touchdown, Packers. Listen to this crowd. Sounds like a home game for Green Bay.
That's 20,000 cheeseheads out here today. They can't get tickets at Lambeau Field, so they go on the road.
Well, they cheer the 7-yard touchdown pass, Brett Favre to William Henderson.
Yeah, all kinds of heads out here. You know, you got kings here and cheeses. I saw a pumpkin head earlier. You know, it's time of the year.
Halloween, that's right. Got to get ready, man.
You always tell those Green Bay fans, too, because they're the whitest skinned people you've ever seen.
Except the ones that have been hanging out by the pool. Ryan Longwell gets the extra point. The Packers get on the board first. The Cheeseheads are happy here. And I've hit 4 different receivers the last pass. William Henderson 7 yards on the touchdown. And the Packers take the 7-0 lead. And that's good news for the Packers because every game this year, Favre has thrown a TD pass, they win. When he has it, they lose.
And more importantly, Kurt, they got off to a fast start today, something they've really struggled with all season long.
Kenny Bynum takes the kickoff from his 4. Makes a couple of moves. Out across the 20-yard line, Todd McBride pulls him down. 18 yards on the kickoff return. Eric Kramer and the Chargers down by a touchdown.
Reading that play, nice reaction to the famed headbutt from Brett.
Nice way to convert the turnover into points, huh?
And perfect on that last drive, 4 of 4 for 78 yards, 5 of 7 in the game.
Chargers begin from their 22. Kenny Bynum in the backfield. And he's going to stay there. Loses a yard on the play. George Kuntz with the tackle on what will be the final play of the first quarter. Packers on top 7-0. George Kuntz and the boys pumped up. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and words from your local Fox station.
Yeah, that Green Bay community all over that state of Wisconsin. You grew up in Wisconsin, you're a Packer fan.
Second down from the Chargers after the 1-yard loss. Kramer. Intercepted once again. Brett Vincent. His first interception as a pro for the rookie out of Vanderbilt. And once again, 2 possessions, Eric Kramer intercepted.
Well, last week, Leroy Butler said, yeah, they didn't blitz me at all last week. And that's what I do best. And you're going to see him. He's going to be cheating up into the line of scrimmage. Here he is right here, playing real tight to the line of scrimmage. He's going to come through here right into Eric Kramer's front side. Now, they do a good job of picking him up, but also Keith McKenzie is there. And there's the other young rookie there.
Brett Vincent, that's just a bad throw. Once again.
Well, last week, Eric Kramer had a lot of bad throws. 4 second-half interceptions back-to-back-to-back. Defense is good enough to overcome them.
Ball to the air right away. Antonio Freeman makes the catch down to the 12-yard line. 16 yards on the pass play.
Well, Brett says he likes to get free involved in the game early. And it's also good if Freeman is catching the football and holding on to it. Last week, the first third down, he dropped the ball, and Brett thought that, you know, he had that look in his eyes like, boy, I don't know if his confidence is there today.
He said he could see it.
Yeah, he could see it. And he said, if I get free involved early in the game and get him the ball, well, he can be electric out there, and he can be unstoppable.
Dorsey Levens, the deep man in the eye for the Packers. Quick pass, Freeman. Doesn't fool the Chargers, picks up maybe a yard on the play.
You got to know that the San Diego defense, they're playing without a lot of starters. Freeman right now working against Jimmy Spencer, filling in for Darrell Lewis at that left corner. Freeman now, he'll take every ball he can get right now. He got the big money in this offseason, and he got paid, and it was a holdout, but he wasn't going anywhere. He's a Packer, and he knows who gets to the ball. Brett, he wants to be out there.
Brett to the air once again. Into the end zone, intended for Freeman that time, but tipped away by Terrence Shaw, and there's a flag down. Didn't get the completion, but may get their wish here.
Not a lot of guys would try to make that throw. That Brett just did.
Defensive holding against the Chargers.
Yeah, automatic first down.
Number 29, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Terrence Shaw, right cornerback, working on Freeman now. See Freeman from the right side now working on the left side. There's the hold. There's the hand in the back of the jersey. But now he was well covered, even though he had him held. Favre still came with the football to him because Bale now eyes on Favre all the way. He's mirroring it. Trying to time it right there in the middle of the field, maybe get a hand on that ball. We call that a spy, spying on Brett Favre.
Brett Favre to the end zone, once again intended for Freeman. Jimmy Spencer covered him well that time.
Herm Lewis, of course, the offensive coordinator now for the Packers. Never really got an opportunity to call the plays with Mike Holmgren here. And the pressure's been on him, and he felt it this week. Said it was the longest week of his coaching career. And 133 total yards up there in Denver last week, and it was ugly. Ugly for everybody. And Ray Rhodes said, I came home from that long road trip, and my wife Carmen waited up for me, and she started giving me the business.
And he thought he was out of trouble once he left Philadelphia, huh? Dorsey Levens. A little running room outside. Touchdown, Packers. 6 yards on the touchdown run from Dorsey Levens, and the Packers go on top by 2 scores.
The San Diego defense looked like the Packers defense last week in Denver. I mean, all you're going to see is Dorsey here with just a good cutback behind the left guard right now, Mike Wall, and Ross Verba, and William Henderson. Brett Favre 2 weeks ago said, I think I've got the best all-around running back in the game today. And Levens just showed you one of the reasons why Brett feels that way. Good vision on that play and the speed to turn the corner, and San Diego missing tackle.
Ryan Longwell for the extra point, right down the heart. The Packers get a 6-yard run from Dorsey Levens. Both their running backs have scored, and they're up by 14.
And by priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
A gorgeous day as every day in San Diego is. I tell you, there's nothing such as bad weather out here.
America's vacation land. Nobody works, everybody plays.
The Packers playing well right now. They kick it off up 14-0. Tremaine Stevens gets a seam. Out across the 30-yard line, Scott McCarron with the tackle. Dorsey Levens, 6-yard run, put him up by 2.
Now take a look here at Junior Sale right here in the middle. He's going to get caught up on a nice block by Frank Winters here. Gets trapped inside the soup and can't get outside. Now Levens breaks it outside, and Jimmy Spencer, playing inside on that play, can't bring down Levens. Here's Junior Sale trying to make something happen now. Always around the line of scrimmage. That's all it took, though, from Frank Winters. Just a nice shot right in the sternum. Sale frustrated.
Eric Kramer has thrown interceptions on the last 2 possessions. Back in there at quarterback. Dumps it off to Kenny Bynum. Out to the 40-yard line, 8 yards. Bernardo Harris with the tackle. Packers scoring drive, first time 8 yards, or 8 plays, 80 yards. This time just a little bit short as they got a short field to work with. Dorsey Levens caps off a 1.5-minute drive.
Well, Brett didn't waste any time after that interception to go right after that San Diego secondary, which is vulnerable with the injuries today.
Kenny Bynum fights his way for the first down. Right now, let's return to Joe Buck in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an update.
All right, Kurt, it turned into a blowout in Dallas at the end of the 4th quarter, thanks in large part to this. A 70-yard punt return for a touchdown, 18th career return for a TD in the pro life of Deion Sanders. A Dallas 38-20 win and a tie atop the NFC East. Back to San Diego, Kurt and Brian.
How many times have you seen that, huh?
I guess that toe is feeling pretty good.
Eric Kramer going up top, intended for Jeff Graham, overthrows him, incomplete.
John Jackson, the left tackle, working on Bonnie Holiday, a little slow to get up. John missed a game 2 weeks ago with a bad back. He's fighting a bulging disc in his back. Here's John right here, working on Bonnie Holiday. Very athletic guy. Kramer takes a shot right there.
Vaughn Booker.
Yeah, and Booker went right into the back of John Jackson's leg. Out there exposed and extended. Scares the daylights out of you when you're an offensive lineman.
Second down from their 45. Play action. Pass complete. Once again, Michael Ricks picks up 5 yards before Mike McKenzie gets it.
I can see Leroy Butler coming in on this blitz. He tries to time it. He said Eric Kramer is a short guy. You see right here, Butler working around. Watch him come in here and then jump like he's going to reject, a ball in volleyball right here. Trying to time that. Just mistimed it. But Leroy Butler is most effective hanging around the line of scrimmage and blitzing. He is as good a strong safety doing that as there is in football.
The Packers with 6 defensive backs in right now. Chargers 3rd and 3. Kramer completes it. Freddie Jones, the tight end, gets the first down yardage. Needed 3, got 4.
Yeah, no, Kurt, now last week Eric Kramer came back from throwing 4 interceptions in that 3rd quarter to being perfect the last 2 drives and winning the game. Now he's coming back here. That was a gutsy throw to Freddie Jones because he was well covered by Leroy Butler. He squeezed it in though. Here's Freddie Jones, the tight end now. Leroy Butler is all over. Not much room to get it in, but Kramer has that kind of confidence in Graham Penn and Freddie Jones.
Natron Means in the game for the first time in a while. Walked off the field with a bruised leg. Didn't know if he was going to be able to come back and play, but he is back in there.
Well, what always made Natron a very effective back was, yeah, he's 245 pounds and a 5'10" frame as a bowling ball, but he had the ability to bounce things to the outside, you know, like a European sports car. He could just put it into gear, and with that ankle really bothering him right now, he does not have that turbocharged burst.
The combination of size and speed that got him to the Pro Bowl a couple of years ago. Play action to him. Kramer, ball batted in the air. Incomplete. Mike McKenzie, who's having a heck of a game so far, comes in there and bats it down.
Well, the Green Bay Packers this offseason, when they lost to San Francisco, said, Ron Wolf said it was my fault. We didn't have enough corners to cover San Francisco and Minnesota, teams that gave us a lot of trouble. They went out and drafted Mike McKenzie. They drafted Vincent, and they drafted Antoine Edwards with 3 picks. McKenzie has gotten off to a great start. He's been healthy. Locked right in at their left corner position. Looks like he could be there for a long time.
On third down, the Chargers need to get to the Packers 34 for the first. Out of the shotgun. Ooh, that ball is just thrown in a pack. Intended for Tremaine Stevens, but everybody there in blue jerseys and white jerseys, just all around that ball.
Yeah, a really ugly-looking play. It never really got set up. You know, you wanted to try and invite the defensive linemen upfield, but none of them get upfield. I mean, you see right here, Vaughn Booker just hanging, waiting on the play. Didn't fool anybody, and that's what that play is based on. Fooling the defense, trickery and deception. Nobody was deceived in Green Bay.
Desmond Howard back to receive his second punt of the afternoon from Darren Bennett.
Looks like they're coming after this punt.
Don't get much pressure. Howard calls for the fair catch, makes it at the 11-yard line. 33 yards on a short field on the punt for Darren Bennett. Favre and the Packers take over. A good one between the Packers and the San Diego Chargers. Packers have scored in their last 2 possessions, lead at 14-0. Favre to the air. His pass intercepted. Wow. Jimmy Spencer.
What a reaction by Spencer, his second interception of the season. He turned around, and the ball was right there. Well, Brett's not happy about this play. Going to Billy Schrader on the outside. He's got him early, but he doesn't put enough air in this ball. And Spencer turned around, it was like it was thrown right to him. An example right there of Brett trying to force that.
And Jimmy Spencer starting this week because Darrell Lewis cannot. He's got a bad hamstring. They say he's going to play, but Spencer gets the INT.
Hey, and give this defense credit too, Kurt. I mean, that's their 10th interception of the season. You know, and all these defensive backs are rejects and came from someplace else. You know, Spencer.
Most of the guys on this defense, period.
Yeah. I mean, right off the street. And Brett doesn't need to be consoled by anybody over there. He knows that was his fault in a bad throw.
And the Chargers have done a good job of turning turnovers into points. They've scored 107 points all season, 55 of them after a turnover. Ball's out. Tremaine Stevens falls on that one. Well, the Chargers in jeopardy of giving that one right back, but they hold on to it this time.
Now, part of it could have been the intimidation factor of tackle Gilbert Brown right on top of Roman Fortin. And when you have Gilbert staring right out at you, they shorted that ball right there. It never really came up. Fortin was trying to get that left hand up on Gilbert Brown. I think he shortchanged his right hand coming up to give the ball to Graham or to Kramer.
Gilbert Brown's a lot of man to get ready for it. They say he's 345 pounds, but
it's weight unknown, Kurt. Weight unknown.
They lose 6 yards on the play. Kramer to Fletcher. Terrell Fletcher hangs in there, picks up 14.
The Packers just aren't a good tackling defense. Once again, they have Fletcher bottled up, you know, in good position, and he picks up a lot of yards after the first piece of contact. Nice setup on this screen right there, getting the ball to Fletcher. You know, with the injury to Natron Means, they're trying to do this running back thing by committee. Fletcher, a very good receiver. Kenny Bynum, nice burst, good speed. Work Tremaine Stevens, the guy that can give you a little bit out of both the receiving and the rushing. So playing a lot of people at that position.
Fletcher alone in the backfield. Chargers need to get it to the 24 for the first. Terrell Fletcher turns it upfield, doesn't get there. Leroy Butler and Brian Williams get it.
Butler is just a slippery guy. I mean, he came through a lot of traffic and a lot of bodies, somehow got underneath all of it. You'll see Butler right here now. I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of people coming down at him here. We're going to see him pull John Jackson, the left tackle, 65. Butler fighting through all those bodies, slithers through it all, and he gets the arm around the left leg, makes the play.
John Carney on to attempt a 44-yard field goal. Could be a piece of cake for him, second most accurate kicker in league history. Piece of cake, and he eats it up. Puts the Chargers on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon. There is a flag down on the play, however, so
yeah,
let's hold on.
Mike Riley's got a decision. It's going to be
5 yards, first down.
So the call against the Packers. The Chargers only needed 2. They get 5 on the penalty and a first down.
Well, Green Bay last week was guilty of a lot of offsides on the defense. Roy Butler said there were 7 or 8 of them last week.
Yeah. Yeah, 5.
There he is right here. Coming in for the block. That's the rookie right there.
Fred Vincent.
Freddie Vincent, an interception today, but a costly, real costly penalty on that field goal attempt, giving San Diego another shot with the ball.
There's the Packers' first penalty of the afternoon. Takes 3 points off the board for San Diego, but it gives them a first down at the 21. Natron Means back in there. Gets the handoff. Runs into one of his own guys before falling down at the line of scrimmage. Bernardo Harris with the tackle.
I'm watching that play, and, you know, Joe Bugle, the offensive line coach here, that's just a play from the Hogs, from the Redskins back in the 80s, where Joe Bugle was coaching at that time. They pulled the left guard, Aaron Graham, and they came with the fullback, Fred McCrary, and nobody got anything done on the play. Green Bay was waiting on it there. Nobody moved anybody. Natron Means, no game.
Means comes out of the game. Kenny Bynum goes in at running back. Chargers going with a 2 tight end set.
Michael Ricks in motion and a big target.
They fake the reverse, and they get it out to Ricks. He gets it back to the line of scrimmage, but that's certainly not what the Chargers wanted. Boy, Kramer had all kinds of time, couldn't find a soul open.
Yeah, and nice tackle by George Coates. Because Mike Ricks is a big guy. 6'5", about 240 as a wide receiver. You're going to see now, here comes Ricks in motion, then he's going to double back here, and they're going to fake it to him. He's going to be sitting over here, but all kinds of good coverage down the field. Kramer is looking for the big play here. Jeff Graham is covered in the middle of the field. Really, there was only one receiver in that route. That was Jeff Graham.
The Chargers with a long way to go on third down. They need to cross the 12-yard line for the first. Tremaine Stevens barely gets back. Open field tackle, Tyrone Williams, the first one to hit him. Scott McGarrahan gets him, holds him down.
And, you know, and that last graphic that we just showed is really important. I talked to Jeff Graham about it. They're not really gaining enough yards on first down. They're not winning on first down, and they're constantly putting him in third and long situations. And they're not able to convert. They're off the field now. A field goal attempt again for Carney.
So from 37 yards out this time, John Carney going to try and repeat what he did from 44.
Oh,
boy, I tell you, he missed it.
All kinds
There's
of flags
down on the play once again, though.
Yeah, all kinds of flags just got thrown up as that ball missed.
We talked about him being the second most accurate kicker in league history, but he's already missed 3 this season. His struggle the last 3 weeks.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, leaping foul. Leaping foul. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
Another Packer penalty saves the Chargers once again.
Allows this offense to come back onto the field. You can see right here, Bernardo Harris is going to use the defensive lineman to help propel him on this jump. He's going to jump on the back of these guys. That left hand right there, pushing himself and stretching him on the play. Here comes Harris.
You're not allowed to use another player to help elevate you to try and block a kick, but that's close. That's a close call.
Well, all he did was just, I mean, he had already reached his height. He was just bracing himself on the fall. Well, I didn't see it.
I mean, that's an awfully close call there. But it's a penalty nonetheless, so it's 1st and goal from the 8-yard line for the Chargers.
I think all Bernardo was guilty of was having a high vertical jump.
Yeah, exactly.
They just saw him so high in the air, they probably thought, how did he get up there without propelling himself?
Natron Means in there. Means fights his way for a yard. Gilbert Brown on the tackle.
Here it is. Now you could go up and jump on this last field goal attempt. Take a look at Bernardo Harris, guilty of the infraction. You know, you're allowed to go up there and jump. What he does here is he just leaps. Now I don't see his hand touching. Both hands are up in the air, and he's got the left hand down.
Right there on the helmet.
Yeah. But all he was doing was brace himself from falling there, Kurt, and it wasn't there to springboard him up any higher.
I agree with you, but that's what they saw, was the hand on the helmet, and they called the penalty.
Home field, maybe.
Kramer. Chris Penn can't hold on. Tyrone Williams with the coverage.
But Chris Penn was inside of Tyrone Williams. Eric Kramer threw this ball behind him. He had him beat, had a step on him inside. See, just a little 3-step slant. Tyrone Williams at that right corner position, a holdover from last year. Only him and Leroy Butler and Sharper left over from a year ago. A lot of new faces. Part of the new and young secondary here with the Packers.
3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Chris Penn in motion. Kramer with time. Towards the end zone, incomplete. Jeff Graham, the intended receiver. Fred Vincent. Mike McKenzie there once again.
Well, you know, this Packers secondary came in today ranked last in the league, giving up more yards per game than any other team. But they played lights out here today. Good coverage in a compressed, tight spot on the field. Inside that red zone, Ray Rhodes got to be feeling pretty good. And right now, Ray is saying, no penalties. No penalties, guys. Just get off the field.
Let's see if the 3rd time to be the charm for number 3, John Carney. 28 yards this time. The field goal is up. It is good. And there are no flags down on that one. So the Chargers officially get on the scoreboard for the first time this afternoon. They trail the Pack 14-3.
To springboard himself up any higher.
He used it after he was at the apex of his jump.
And Ray Rhodes is all over the judge right there, talking about it. His right hand is up there. He just jumped. That was all within the rules. Did not use that as some sort of trampoline to get any higher.
And it was a big deal because the field goal was missed. It gave the Chargers another chance, and they did score that time. Damon Parker takes the kickoff.
Fastest player on the Packers.
Gets it out to the 39-yard line. For the rookie out of Oklahoma, 36 yards on the kickoff return.
I'm going to pick up some of my expenses for a change on the road.
Well, they will stay in San Diego a bit longer if we win that, brother. Dorsey Levens gets maybe a yard. Junior Seau. First time we've called his name all afternoon.
He's been a little quiet today. Seau, always the eyes always tell you about this guy. I mean, just giving up the body recklessly in there, somehow stays on his feet and plays with that type of emotion every day. Challenges his coaches every day out there in the practice field to come up with something that he isn't aware of or hasn't studied.
Holds Levens to no gain.
There he is right up in the line of scrimmage now.
And there he comes. Far. Incomplete. Nearest receiver there, Antonio Freeman. Barr seems to be kind of nursing that sore thumb he's got a little bit.
That thing is going to bother him all year. Every time he gets hit by a helmet, a shoulder pad, he hits the ground wrong, that thing is going to ache all season long. But here's Seau right up in the line of scrimmage now. A nightmare for offensive linemen to be able to stay in there, hold your count, working on Marco Rivera right there, never stops coming. Gets a little hit on Favre at the very end. Michael Mooring there coming in freed up because of the attention to Junior Seau.
Packers send out 4 receivers on 3rd and 10. Under pressure, Brett Favre evades the tackle, but not for long. Gerald Dixon with the sack.
Boy, I tell you, the attention that Seau gets frees up all these other guys to come in and make plays. And Frankie Winters, the center, does a nice job on Seau. But it weakens other areas in this offensive line. Frankie does a nice job of square dancing with him right here, just shadowing him. But you see, you got 2 guys, Earl Dobson, the right tackles on him. You know, and here comes Darrell Lewis. And Gerard Dixon cleaning up. You put Brett Favre in a passing situation, you go after him.
Louis Aguiar kicks off to Chris Penn. Brings it back to the 40-yard line. Jude Waddy with the tackle. Hey, next week, it's Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, 2 of the NFL's top teams clash as the high-flying Rams battle the Titans. And then Deion Sanders and the Cowboys try to shut down Peyton Manning and the Colts. Coverage begins an hour before kickoff with a pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on Fox. That should be a good one. The Dallas Cowboys rolling today at home over the Washington Redskins. Both teams now 4-2 in that NFC East division.
And Dallas has the advantage by winning both games against the Redskins right now. They have the tiebreaker in their favor.
Terrell Fletcher in motion. Tremaine Stevens with the carry. Dallas going to go into Indianapolis next week, and you look at the comparison between Peyton Manning at this point in his career versus Aikman at the same point in his career, and it's amazing.
It's a good comparison, and certainly they both have the same type of work ethic and enjoy the game the same amount. But I think Peyton Manning further along right now than Troy was, you know, in his second season, his sophomore season. I mean, you look at the touchdowns, 37 touchdowns now, you know, not even into a season and a half. Far advanced of Troy Aikman.
Tremaine Stevens slow to get off the field, but one of the differences between Manning and Troy Aikman was when Troy came in as a rookie, he had no offensive line in Dallas and just got killed. Indianapolis noticed that. They built a good offensive line around Peyton Manning to give him some protection last year and this year.
See, I don't agree with that. You know, on that line was
Why
Nate
is that? Because you're a lineman?
No, and Nate Newton was there, and you had Mark Tuinei there, and you know, Kevin Gogan, all those guys were there with Troy. He just didn't have a lot of weapons to go down the field with.
Well, the Chargers have a nice weapon in Kenny Bynum. Bynum with the carry replacing Tremaine Stevens in the backfield picks up 16 yards.
Yeah, and for Kenny Bynum, this is his 22nd game this season. Played 10 games over in Europe with the Ryan Fire, went through preseason, and then through the 6 games this year. No tired or fatigue in these legs.
At halftime, Joe Buck and Ron Pitts, all the scores and highlights from the early games around the league. Flags down, pass complete. Jeff Graham makes the grab, but let's see what the penalty is.
Yeah, so away on the other side of the field. Yeah, you're going to get an illegal shift.
38-8. 33 again. 3.
Good first down play is going to come back.
2 men moving prior to the snap, and they did not reset. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So it's going to back the Chargers up. If they lose 5, it'll be 1st and 15 now.
The 2 guys can move prior to the snap, but they have to be set for a full count before the snap. And that's just kind of lazy football there. You know, the Chargers, so important, their first down today. I mean, already they were worse in the AFC coming in today. Today, less than 2.5 yards on the first down. That puts Kramer in tough third down situations.
Creates a lot of 2nd and long and 3rd and long. Right now it's 1st and long, 15 yards to go for the first. Kramer under pressure, gets rid of it. Incomplete. Kenny Bynum out of the backfield. Kramer had to get rid of that one because of the heat from the Packers. Speaking of great defense, our internet question of the week is, what is the best name for the Chargers defensive unit? We've talked about all these guys have been cut by other teams.
Oh, yeah.
They came here and they played in San Diego. So they're trying to come up with a nickname for them. They're number one against the run in the league. They haven't come up with one yet.
Joe Pascal, their coordinator, has been here in his third season. These guys buy into it. Greg Jackson wasn't supposed to be here. Mike Dumas wasn't supposed to be here this year, but because of situations, guys retiring or injuries, they're here and playing and contributing.
2nd and 15 for the Chargers. Complete. Freddie Jones, the tight end, going to pick up 15 yards. Darren Sharper with the tackle.
Nice matchup on the left side. John Jackson working on Bonnie Holiday. You see out here, very athletic John Jackson working against the young sophomore in Bonnie Holiday. And Bonnie said, I want to get into John Jackson's body. I want him to push the pocket. Then, after I get him set up, I want to use my hands. That time, Jackson, nice job of staying in front of him and keeping him off of Eric Kramer.
They needed 15 yards for the first down. They're going to measure and see if he got it. We talked about the internet question. Just log on to SanDiegoChargers.com or NFL.com to vote. The three choices are the castaways, because they're all, rejects, or the misfits.
Yep, that's what Joe Pascal called them. He called them the misfits.
Or
and then the third one,
ground zero, because they're first in the league in fewest yards given up a game on the ground.
And they're living up to that today, Kurt. Right now, Green Bay's rushed 6 times for a total of 8 yards. They're going to try to make this every week a one-dimensional game and get after the quarterback. I like ground zero myself.
I do, too. I kind of dig that one.
Joe's proud of this effort. There's Michael Dumas right there. Rod Prairie was brought in here to play the safety position after a nice effort of Mike Dumas last season. And, he retired and opened up the door for Dumas to come back and play. Dumas playing 13 games last season, but broke his leg at the end of the season. Over this year.
3rd and short for the Packer offense. Kenny Bynum alone in the backfield. He gets it. I don't know if he gets the first down, though. Good caught right away by George Coops.
Yeah, good penetration in the middle of that Packer defensive line. Bowed the running lane a little bit wider than they wanted. You see good penetration here from Bill Lyons in the middle. 98 pushes back and it knocks Roman Fortin off. The bottom there is George Kuntz. Yeah, and he's short. They're not even going to measure this.
The Chargers call a timeout. They did not get the...
Like a lobster at the end of the day, and that's what he looks like.
Chargers going for it on 4th and short. Natron Means gets the first down. Keep the clock going. Less than a minute to play.
Good forward lean by Natron Means there. Inability to cut off those weakened, bad ankles.
Bad sprainly?
Badly sprained. And sprainly. I mean, it's
too much
bad.
California sunshine for you.
Over here, you're going to see Raleigh Roundtree and Jones right here. Alfred Papuno. Nice job on that right side. And good extra effort by Means because he was stopped.
Gets the first down. Made it by about half the length of the football, so he's done his duty. He's going to go back out of the game for a little while.
He'll go over and get himself a little Gatorade and rest those ankles for another short yardage play.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 32 for the Chargers. Kramer out of the shotgun. Terrell Fletcher in the backfield with him. Everyone spread out to his right side. Goes over the middle. Freddie Jones can't grab it.
Oh, that hurts. Because Freddie Jones can drop some passes now.
That's been his problem.
Yeah, last week, and Kramer wants to believe in him. And he wants to make him a big part of this offense. And he's such a good target. Here he is. Big guy right in the middle now. Works just the middle of the field. And he's got to catch that football. I mean, he dropped him just like that last week, too. That would have been a first down.
2nd and 10. Kramer going deep this time for Chris Penn. Incomplete. Penn blanketed by Tyrone Williams.
Well, Kramer's lucky that ball wasn't picked off by the safety Sharper. Tyrone Williams, great coverage on Penn all the way down the field. And Chris Penn, good familiarity with Kramer. They played together in Chicago, very comfortable with one another. He needs to put that ball to the outside of Chris Penn's shoulder, not on the inside, where both Tyrone Williams and Sharper had a shot at him.
Kramer only one of his last 6 in the passing department. Has struggled since coming out and playing well on the first possession before throwing the end zone interception. On 3rd and 10, they need to get to the 22 for the first. Terrell Fletcher gets there. Picks up 11 yards and another first down, but now they work the clock. 24 seconds to go. Chargers call timeout.
Well, you're still our guy. We're not making a switch. He just really gave him a nice pat on the back. It's your game to win, and he won it.
First down from the 20. Kramer towards the end zone. Jeff Graham was open, but the ball didn't get there.
Boy, bad mix-up there on that route. Jeff Graham was wide open. You see Graham right here in the middle. Freddie Jones on the outside. Graham just working the post here. Boy, he turns Tyrone Williams all the way around. He gets the width that he wanted. That's just the way you draw it up, everything but the pass.
After the incompletion, second down. 4 receivers in, no one in the backfield. Over the middle, Freddie Jones gets it out to the 10-yard line of first down, but more importantly, they stop the clock with 11 seconds left to play. First and goal. Certainly have a lot of options here on this play. Rick's at the bottom of your screen. Kramer under pressure. Gets rid of it. Incomplete. Reggie Davis spun all the way around, but Kramer put under a lot of pressure by Keith McKenzie on that one.
Yeah, Keith McKenzie, who's their pass rush specialist, all the way on the outside, working against Riley Roundtrip. Nice inside move. A good slap, and here comes McKenzie. Has more sacks than the rest of the defensive line combined this season with 4. And that's what he comes in there to do. I mean, talk about taking the game over. And that's a nice position to come in here and put a hit on Kramer and force an early release.
Most likely the final play of the half. 6 seconds to go from the 10-yard line. Kramer decides to keep it. Doesn't get in the end zone, doesn't get out of bounds, and the Chargers have run out of time. Tyrone Williams.
And Kramer
big touchdown-saving tackle.
Not a smart play by Kramer. Doesn't give him a chance for a field goal.
So the Chargers don't make it in the end zone. They don't get on the scoreboard on that final possession. So at the half, the Packers lead at 14-3. To 3, and it's not like the Chargers haven't had opportunities here, Baldy.
No, they have had some opportunities, and they really some blown opportunities. Started early in this game with an interception in the end zone by Eric Kramer.
And that wasn't the only miscue of the afternoon that they've had, but it seems like each one has come back to haunt them.
Well, Kramer floated that ball in the end zone. Mike McKenzie picked it off, and Green Bay capitalized. 80 yards down the field, William Henderson a touchdown. Then the other rookie, Freddie Vincent, with the interception, and then Dorsey Levitt's second touchdown in the afternoon for the Packers. They were rolling. Then right at the end of the half, 6 seconds to go, Kramer, 12-year veteran, tried to scramble here rather than throw that ball right out of bounds and get themselves an easy field goal from John Carney.
Well, the offense not doing the job. The San Diego defense, they had a couple of missions when they came in here.
Well, John Pascal, the offensive coordinator, a couple of points. He said, we want to stop the run, so average yards per attempt is important. And then they don't want to give up any big plays, so the average yards per pass attempt is important. And then they want to get off the field on 3rd down. They like to keep that under 33%, which means 1 out of every 3 times the offense is going to be able to convert. But here, you know, right away, they shut down the run. Only 6 carries by Green Bay in the first half, 8 yards. And it converts down here to a time of possession again. The Packers last week only had the ball for less than 15 minutes the whole game, and they're sort of on that pace here today.
And also, they're on a pace, and I know they're up 14-3, but they didn't convert a 3rd down at all last week. They haven't done one so far in the first half this week either, have the Green Bay Packers. But they'll get a chance since they receive here to start the second half. John Carney with the kickoff. And that's going to be the rookie, Basil Mitchell. Mitchell spins his way out to the 29-yard line. Nice return. 28 yards on the return there. Packers leading at 14-3. Our Drew Smith had a chance to talk with their head coach at halftime. Drew.
All right, guys. Yeah, Mike Riley not so happy about the way that Harbaugh's been playing, or rather the way that Eric Kramer has been playing. Possibility that we might see Harbaugh in the game. Does not quite sure right now. Ray Rhodes, on the other hand, says this should be a shutout. When they took the field goal, the missed field goal, that was not a penalty, since Bernardo Harris was just falling down on the guy. We'll see. Back to you.
All right, Drew. I think he's right, too. Our replay showed that Bernardo Harris got penalized for something there that was not a big infraction.
The backfield for the Packers.
To Dorsey Levens. They said the ball hit the ground.
No, I always
pass incomplete.
Yeah, you look at the adjustments at halftime that team's making right away. Try to get Dorsey Levens involved in the offense. You know, he only had one catch last week for no yards. Didn't catch any balls in the first half. Now, this is a guy that leads the NFL in receptions for running backs. Immediately try to get him involved.
Second down for the Packers. No gain on that last play. Levens again. Picks up 4 yards.
And the weight of that offensive responsibility falling on the shoulders of Sherm Lewis right here. First year that he gets to call the signals. The players believe in Sherm. I mean, Brett Favre defended him all the way last week. He said, it's on us. We're the ones that didn't execute last week. We're the ones that overthrew a ball. The receivers ran bad routes. The offensive line didn't protect the times. The plays were the right plays. We need to execute them better.
Packers need to get to the Charger 40 for the first. 5 defensive backs in there for San Diego. One of them almost gets it. Incomplete. Greg Jackson had his hands on it. Well, there is a flag on the play. Boy, Favre almost threw another interception there. That's going to be holding against Green Bay.
Yeah. They'll decline this penalty. San Diego will decline this. Captain Junior Seau right there said, we just want to get off the field. We did our job. We pitched a strikeout, 3 plays and out.
Holding, number 62, offense. Penalty is declined, 4th down.
Yeah. Junior Seau gets into the line of scrimmage, working on Frankie Winters right there. It was actually on the center. Frankie got that right arm wrapped around the center, or wrapped around Seau. Seau last week forced 3 holding calls on the offensive line of Seattle, doing that same thing.
After the holding call, Louis Aguilar with the punt to Chris Penn. Backs him up. Nice punt from his 17. Picks up about 5 yards. Anthony Davis with the tackle. 51 yards on the punt by Aguilar. And the Chargers take over their first possession of the second half. First possession here of the third quarter. Trailing at 14-3. To the air right away. Thrown high. Intended for Jeff Graham. Incomplete.
A life and times of a special teams demon, Scott McAaron here. Working against Fakir Brown, making his first NFL debut. Fakir gets an opportunity here for a 2-point takedown. Now, that's a New York City mugging. McAaron never got close to the ball. He's like, well, maybe if I tied up 2 guys like that, it freed up somebody else to go down and make the play.
Haven't you listened to Mayor Giuliani? There are no more muggings in New York City.
They cleaned that up. Yeah. It doesn't go on.
Second down, Natron Means. Vaughn Booker on the tackle. Eric Kramer this afternoon, 14 of 28 in the passing department, deciding to maybe better off just give it away, huh?
Well, once again, they're in a very difficult situation, 3rd and long.
Because of the incompletion on first down. You talked about not getting first down plays.
They're just not able to get any kind of a rhythm going. They put themselves constantly in these 3rd down situations. Although today they have completed a decent percentage. All teams would like to be able to convert 40% on 3rd down.
Well, it's 3rd and 9. They need to get to the 33-yard line for the first. Kramer out of the shotgun. Another pass sails high, intended for Jeff Graham.
Well, what Green Bay does, they put him in that 3rd and long, and then they go after Kramer. You hear the boos here in Qualcomm Stadium.
A couple of his passes have sailed high. Is that because he's a short quarterback comparatively, that he has trouble getting it over the line, or is it just bad passes?
Well, I think they're bad passes because of the pressure. Yeah, and he's throwing off his back foot, and the mechanics aren't there because he's rushing things due to the pressure.
Desmond Howard deep to receive the Darren Bennett punt.
Desmond Howard dislocated a finger in practice
Thursday. Had trouble receiving some of the punts, but he's back there today. Calls for the fair catch. He makes it at the 38-yard line. There was some contact, but Howard initiated that contact, so there won't be a flag. Scott Turner was the guy he touched. 37 yards on the punt. 1,000 cubic feet of helium. Man, imagine if you sucked on that. Your voice would sound like Mike Tyson.
Probably make his opponents go down as easy as they did last night with it, too.
Dorsey Levis not going down easy. Picks up close to 10 yards. Near a first down at midfield. Tracy Simeon with the tackle, but look who's back on the field for the Chargers. Darrell Lewis, who hasn't seen a lot of action this afternoon. Normally a starter at quarterback, but earlier today, he had to come out and test a strained hamstring that he had to see if he could go.
Well, he was out there with his defensive back coach, Rod Perry, and, you know, Darrell Lewis is a lot like a lot of these defensive players. I mean, he was on the street, was picked up September 7th, came in here right away, a real professional, has 3 interceptions, has scored a couple of touchdowns, one on special teams, one on defense. Been a real asset to this defense, and it really is the personality of this defense. I mean, you know, Junior Seau said, you know, we should call them the unemployed, because all these guys were on the street. Greg Jackson is with his 4th team, and Charles Dimmery, not starting here today, is with his 5th team. But what they all have is a lot of professionalism about them. They know how to prepare. They know what it takes. They've played on winning teams at other places. And really, you talk to guys in this team, they said, we can't win with rookies back there. We need the veteran leadership that all these guys provide.
Packers get the first down from midfield. Favre going up top. Intended for Corey Bradford. There's a lot of pushing and shoving there, and here come the flags.
Well, it's kind of strange. The flag came from the back judge there that time.
Well, Terrence Shaw was the man on coverage, but he and Bradford were just pushing each other.
Jim Howie threw the flag, the back judge, but the one that was right there on the play never threw the flag.
Pass interference, 28 defense, first down.
It should be a number 29, Terrence Shaw.
Terrence Shaw doesn't like the coverage. Here's Shaw right here, working on Corey Bradford, quickly becoming one of Brett Favre's favorite deep targets. Shaw does a nice job of turning and looking for the ball, and by NFL definition, if you turn and look at the ball, and even if you make contact, it's not supposed to be a flag.
You know, that's huge. That's a 44-yard penalty. The Packers had 12 yards total offense since that second touchdown. They had really stalled. And so that gives them a new life. First and goal from the 6-yard line. Favre, pump fakes. Pass incomplete, intended for Antonio Freeman. Brett Favre.
Shaw almost got a
over his
payback.
last 5.
Yeah, Shaw almost got a payback there on that bobble. And here's the play before. Now watch Shaw. He turns his head to look for the ball, which is fine. And now the contact is incidental. I mean, Bradford's coming back for the ball, and that's not supposed to be interference. They're talking to Jerry Seaman in the offseason. They tried to really categorize defensive pass interference into 6 categories. And when you turn to look at the ball and there's incidental contact, they're not supposed to throw the flag.
Jerry Seaman, the head of officiating for the National Football League. Empty backfield for the Packers. To the end zone. Touchdown, Bill Schrader. And he dunks it over.
Classic Brett Favre.
6 yards on the touchdown pass. Brett Favre, the second of the game, this time to Billy Schrader.
Well, you're going to see Favre here. I mean, this is what separates Brett from all the other quarterbacks in this league. The ability to throw a stick. To make that ball stick in a hurry right on Billy Schrader's numbers. Defensive back, no opportunity there to make that play.
He beat Jimmy Spencer on that one for the touchdown.
We saw Kramer float one in the first quarter and it was intercepted because he floated it. He doesn't have the stick.
Ryan Longwell gets the extra point. Bill Schrader with the 6-yard touchdown pass, but the 44-yard pass interference penalty, huge on that drive. Our touchdown reception give the Packers a 21-3 lead. His second touchdown of the season Just a third of his career for a former track guy in college at the University of Wisconsin lacrosse.
Well, both guys, Corey Bradford and Billy Schrader, were track guys. He only played 1 year of football at Wisconsin lacrosse because his eligibility to run track ran out.
The 44-yard pass interference penalty there was the key play on that drive. Took less than a minute for the Packers to get on the scoreboard.
Well, this is the 5th year in Green Bay for Schrader, and he's really coming on after a year in NFL Europe and bouncing around up in New England for a year, out of football, on the practice squad. He's been all over the place, and now settling in and using all of the God-given ability he has.
Ryan Longwell kicks it off from Ames Stevens. Gets it out to the 30-yard line. Basil Mitchell with the tackle, 28 yards on the return. Let's take a look at that interference penalty one more time, Baldy.
Now, you're going to see the left arm of Terrence Shaw. Now, he's legal to the point when he turns around, but that left arm right there, that's called an arm bar. And it prevents the offensive player from going for the ball. And after reviewing it a couple times, I think it was a good call. Schrader, a little out move. Gets Jimmy Spencer's hips turned. That's all Brett Favre needs. Nice job of cradling that ball and using his body by Schrader for the touchdown.
First down from the 30 for the Chargers. Eric Kramer. Fred McCrary hit hard. George Kuntz. You think that hit looked hard? How'd you like to feel it? Get feeling it. Listen. George Kuntz is a guy who didn't get to play in the Super Bowl because he tore up his knee, has been a fan favorite with the Packer fans, the Packer faithful for a long time. Kramer complete. Good enough for the first down. That's Michael Ricks with the reception.
Well, warming up on the sideline all day has been Jim Harbaugh. The original starter this year was injured in the second week of the season.
But he's been like that John Fogerty song all day. Put me in, coach. He's been over there since the first quarter, warming up and putting his helmet on and doing everything he can.
And Mike Riley said it's a tough decision these last 2 weeks, trying to make a decision who to start, but Kramer had the hot hand coming in today.
From the 42. Natron Means. Bernardo Harris on the tackle.
There's no reason for the San Diego team to panic at this point. I mean, they're used, you know, this defense is used to having to go out there and make plays and get the offense off the field, give it back to the offense. What they need is to stay within the framework of the offense right now. You know, march this down the field. They need to score here, though, and shorten this gap a little bit and tighten this game up, get the crowd back into it.
You know how wild the NFL season has been. One of the reasons may be because so many teams change the quarterback as soon as something bad goes rather than sticking with a guy and giving him an opportunity to work out. Ball is out. Kramer does recover it.
Well, that's twice today, and that's 2 times too many today.
The first time we showed it was the center, Roman Fortin. Who was it this time?
It's hard to tell right from here. Kramer looks like he's trying to get out of there in a hurry. At least he has the presence of mind to go down and get that football, but...
Well, that would hit him in the hands, yeah.
But, you know, one of the things that happens, Kurt, when you change quarterbacks, it's a different feel there for the center, Roman Fortin, and, you know, and that's one of the things that happens when you do change it, is you get those miscues and exchange.
Another 3rd and long. They need to get to the Packers 48 for the first. Freddie Jones gets the first down and more. Darren Sharper on the tackle, but 21 yards on the 3rd and 8 play for San Diego.
Now we're talking about, do you stay with Kramer, do you go to Harbaugh? Kramer has moved his team all day today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see Freddie coming right across the middle here. Big target right in the middle. Nice little hesitation. Fooled Brian Williams on the play. Brian Williams, the middle, weak side linebacker who had him on the play. Fooled him, and Kramer again gets out of a jam on 3rd down.
Gets him to the 35. With time. Jeff Graham. Inside the 20. Down to the 12-yard line. 24 yards, another pass play.
Yeah, and Kramer is a streaky quarterback, working on Tyrone Williams here. He's going to get help now from the safety, Darren Sharper, and this is the missed tackle right here by Sharper, who was guilty of a couple of bad missed tackles last week. Is there such a thing as a good missed tackle? No.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, he's just dropping his head. I mean, that's another embarrassing play from the safety.
From the 11-yard line, another first for the Chargers. Natron Means dances his way down to the 10. The Chargers came into this game perfect from the red zone. They'd either gotten a touchdown, I think 7 touchdowns, 5 field goals, and 12 possessions inside the red zone. Today, they've struggled a bit.
Oh, they have struggled. I mean, and this is where they struggled this season, really. They get down here in this kind of position, they're not able to make the play. The interception today, and then right before the end of the half, Kramer not having the presence of mind to throw the ball away and at least kick the field goal.
Natron Means in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Kramer under pressure gets rid of it. Fred McCrary, the intended receiver, but Brian Williams was coming hard.
Yeah, no pass. You see Brian Williams and Leroy Butler both coming. Mike Turgeback, the defensive line coach, right there. Here comes Williams right up the gut here. Nice timing on the play. Roman Fortin put his left hand out the center. Kind of feel him, but he'd already jumped on Gilbert Brown, the nose tackle. Good job of Kramer getting that ball away and getting it to Fred McCrary, so there wasn't intentional grounding on the play.
Another 3rd and long for the Chargers. McCrary set out at the top of your screen. Kramer. Pass is intercepted. Tyrone Williams, his 2nd interception. Once again, the Chargers get close, but don't score. First possession of the game, they throw an interception in the end zone. Right before the half, the clock runs out on them, and this time they're picked off again.
Chevy trucks are the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And now, during Chevy...
Picked him off a couple of times, once in the end zone, the last time just outside the end zone of the 1st yard, at the 1-yard line, excuse me.
Well, you know, you see what he's really doing is falling right into the trap, making some bad throws in there. I mean, he's got players open, but he doesn't have that quick, far stick that we saw Brett throw to Billy Schrader, where you have to get it in there in tight coverage.
And Jim Harbaugh is now warming up on the sideline, but as we said earlier, he's been doing that all afternoon. But this time it may be more than it has previously today. Packers take it over from the 1-yard line.
You have the #1 rated defense against the rush. You want to make something happen in this area of the field.
Well, Dorsey Levens gets a couple of yards, gives them just a little bit of breathing room. Lou Bush on the tackle.
Eric Kramer pushed this ball in the end zone. Here's Michael Ricks right here working on Tyrone Williams. Watch where he puts this ball. First of all, he floats it. He doesn't put anything on it. And then he really needs to throw the ball right here. And he throws it behind him. And in this league, 6 inches one way or the other can mean the difference between feasting and being real hungry.
Dorsey Levens gets a seam, gets it out to the 16-yard line. Good enough for the first down. Greg Jackson on the tackle. 13 yards on the run by Levens.
You know, Dorsey Levens has been bottled up all day, but you're going to see this right off the right tackle right here. Jeff Thomason, the tight end, and Earl Dotson back in at right tackle, gets a pancake. Best run of the day for the Packers in an area where they needed their best run of the day.
And you know that 13-yard run is the longest run the San Diego defense has given up all season long. First down for Green Bay. Levens again. Here comes that Packer running game out to the 30-yard line. They pick up 14.
Teams that run the ball well, typically they run it better in the second half. They get a lead and then they pound the football. And right now the Packers hardly were on the football field at all in the first half. Good block by Thomason here on Lou Bush, the outside linebacker. Another pancake here against the defensive end, Al Fontenot. And these Packers know a lot about Albert Fontenot because he was in Chicago last year. Or a couple years ago when he was in Indianapolis.
Exactly. 4 years with the Bears, the last couple with Indy.
Had a chance to see him a lot.
Flags down. Our referee, Bob McKelwey.
Illegal snap. number 52, prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
On November 7th, bass fishing is coming to Fox as the top anglers in the world go for over $3.5 million in the Ranger Boats M1 Millennium Tournament. The M1 Millennium Tournament. It's live bass fishing as you've never seen it before. Sunday, November 7th, only on Fox.
You ever caught a bass?
I've been fishing once in my life, and that was deep sea fishing, so I didn't see any sea bass out there, no.
Big thrill.
Dorsey Levens. Hey, the thrill is gone on him right now. He gets tackled for a yard loss.
That's Lou Bush, one of the only 3 original San Diego Chargers starting on this defense. We said they're a bunch of misfits. I mean, you got guys from all over the league. See, Norman Hand there was in Miami, and John Perello was in Buffalo, and just Lou Bush and Terrence Shaw and Junior Seau, along with Rodney Harrison, who's out today, the only original Chargers. And I was really looking forward to seeing Rodney Harrison. I'm upset he's not playing today with that shoulder bruise. But there's 3 great strong safeties in this league. John Lynch in Tampa, Leroy Butler, and Rodney Harrison. Impact player.
They need someone to come up big here for them. Packers. Bill Schrader makes the reception, picks up 14 yards, but right now, let's go to Joe Buck in the Fox Network Center to tell us about those amazing Rams.
All right, Kurt, in St. Louis, the Rams moved to 6-0 for the first time since 1985 with a 34-3 over Cleveland. This touchdown run by Marshall Faulk, 33 of his 133 rushing yards on the day. The Rams will be tested next week in Tennessee here on Fox. Back to Kurt and Brian.
All right, Joe, you see the Rams 6-0 on the season. They have been able to put up big points against everyone, and their defense has played exceptionally well. Doesn't get the credit they deserve. Far, quick pass. Antonio Freeman spins free into Charger territory. Jimmy Spencer finally gets him down, but what a pass, 27 yards for the Packers.
Well, Brett got Antonio Freeman involved in this game early today, and that keeps him around. And it gets his head in the game, it gets him confident, and now he's able to make these kind of plays. There's just a trailer here on Freeman. Favre gets rid of this ball quickly. Terrence Shaw all over him. Freeman showing his strength. And one of the things I saw from the San Diego Chargers watching the tapes this week is they've been a great tackling team. Today, the Packers have made them look real average.
Antonio Freeman as good as it gets in this league after the catch. Dorsey Levens keeps on dancing, picks up about 9 yards. Michael Dumas and Greg Jackson get him, but this Packer offense is starting to roll once again. Fullback William Henderson with a nice block on that play.
You're going to see the left guard in this play. Going to get out of his stance pretty quick and lead this play right here around the right end. Just a power running. Only 8 yards rushing in the first half. That's Mike Wall coming in and forms a wall. Picks off Tracy Simeon, the middle linebacker. Wall making his back in at left guard position. Last week was at right tackle, filling in for Earl Dotson.
Levens once again breaks it outside. Down to the 20-yard line, picks up 8 more. Dorsey Levens, who struggled all last week, 10 carries, just 12 yards. He struggled in the first half here this afternoon in San Diego. Now he's got 64 yards in this game.
Well, this is all Dorsey Levens. He takes this all the way to the right. I mean, just stops. 2-foot stop, good vision to the left. Saw a big opening over there, and he bounced it outside, and he's starting to get a good rhythm. Nice second half here. Remember now, this San Diego defense has not given up a 100-yard rusher in 24 straight games.
Play action. Favre with all kinds of time. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Jeff Thomason. That about the only way the Packers are stopping is to stop themselves on this drive, at least.
Well, Dorsey Levens came off the great season in 1997, over 1,400 yards. And then he was a holdout last year. Went for the big cash, and he got it, but he missed most of training camp. And then when he came back, he hurt his ankle. He got himself into shape, got a little rhythm going, and then he broke another ankle. On his team last year, the Packer team, they had 6 guys break legs. It looked like that duck that you ate the other night. You know, those skinny little legs, they were just snapping on his Packer team.
Basil Mitchell, his first NFL carry. Picks up 4 yards. By the way, it wasn't duck. I don't eat duck.
What was
that? Lamb. So that's how small it was. It was lamb that looked like duck.
It was an anorexic lamb is what it was.
penalty flag down on the play.
It's going to be unnecessary roughness by William Henderson. Personal foul.
The fullback.
Yeah, late hit on the play.
Now, if you're the fullback, what are you hitting someone late for? Payback for something else earlier, maybe?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 33, offense. 15 yards, repeat the down. Second down.
You're going to see this right here. This is going to be a fake here. It's going to freeze the linebacker here, and in a pitch to Basil Mitchell, rookie with a lot of speed. Now, Ray Lee Johnson is out there. It's a nice play by Johnson staying out, but I've seen a lot of teams in this league run that play. I call it the flip 90. Marshall Falk last week had over 70 yards and 2 carries with that play. You don't even block the defensive end. You hope he just comes down with the fake.
After the penalty, 2nd and long. Favre. That's Dorsey Levens out of the backfield. Levens picks up the first down and then some inside the 5-yard line. 25 yards on the pass play.
Dorsey Levens came in 3rd in the league today with total yards from scrimmage, and Brett likes to get the ball to him. Was the leading running back receiver in this league coming in today. 25 catches, and here you see why. Got the skills of a wide receiver when he's out there in the open prairies.
You talked about what a good tackling team this Charger squad is. Not on that play.
Not in this game. A lot of missed tackles today, and that'll bother Joe Pascal, that defensive coordinator.
Dorsey Levens' first catch of the afternoon gets him down to the 5. 1st and goal. Empty backfield. Over the middle, incomplete. Corey Bradford, the intended receiver. Brett Favre got that big smile on his face. Happy days are back in Packerland.
I always think that, Brett likes to get hit. Say how, he's just mirroring Favre now. That's his job. Wherever Brett goes, he's just looking at his eyes. Mirroring the whole way. Nice hit here by Norman Hand. Got a little acting on that play. Can't quite get over the top. He can't get that gymnastic move down.
Dorsey Levens. Down to the 3. Greg Jackson with the tackle.
I think Brett Favre came out today and he went deep against this, injury-riddled secondary, and it loosened some things up here, especially in the second half. They're running the ball a lot better against this team. Most teams come in like Denver did last week, try to shut down the running game, and then put a lot of pressure on Favre. Well, he's reversed it, and he's dictating what the defense does to him now.
14th play of the drive, 3rd and goal from the 3. Favre gets it up, gets it in, touchdown. Antonio Freeman.
Feels like you're in Lambeau Field, the way this crowd and the Packer backers are cheering it on. And Antonio Freeman is back. And this Green Bay Packer offense is back after maybe the worst performance in Brett Favre's career a week ago.
Favre's 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. They've all been short, but they've all been big on the scoreboard. Ryan Longwell on for the extra point. Gets it through, and the Packers take a 28-3 lead here in San Diego on the touchdown, Brett Favre to Antonio Freeman. After the Green Bay Packer touchdown put them up 28-3.
Harbaugh went out in that game against Kansas City in the first quarter. Kramer took over. He's been in there since. Harbaugh trying to come back from an injury and regain that starting spot.
Ryan Longwell set to kick it off. Tremaine Stevens from his 7. Finds the seams, got some running room outside. Flags are down, but there goes Stevens. He's going to go down the sideline, but remember there are flags on the play. 94 yards into the end zone, but let's see what the penalty is.
It's coming back.
Holding against the San Diego Chargers wipes out a 94-yard kick return.
Really been the story of the Chargers today. Every time they get a chance to make a play.
Number 56 on the return team.
Orlando Rupp.
10-yard penalty. First down. That's the end of the third quarter.
Boy, miscues have certainly cost the Chargers a lot of points today. This game, 28-3, and it was a close game coming out of the half, 14-3.
Well, it was, but right now, San Diego not taking advantage of any opportunities they've had inside the 10-yard line, 2 interceptions, and then give Green Bay credit, have capitalized off their 3 turnovers today.
And so San Diego changes quarterbacks. Jim Harbaugh in. His first pass attempt intercepted. Tyrone Williams. His second interception of the afternoon. Different quarterback, same result.
Second interception for Tyrone Williams, and Harbaugh hesitated on the throw. It looked like he almost double pumped. He wasn't sure, and when you've been out for a month, the timing isn't quite there. Now, Jeff Graham, great timing with Eric Kramer. Maybe not the same with Harbaugh. He threw it to a different spot than Graham was at. Tyrone Williams gladly will take that ball. And it floated. It didn't look like he had a good look at where Graham was going to go and hesitated with it. And for the second week in a row, 4 interceptions from the Charger quarterbacks.
And coming into this game, the San Diego Charger defense had only given up 9 points off of offensive turnovers. Today, they've given up 21 points off the 4 turnovers by their offense, and Green Bay's going for more. Dorsey Levens hit by Greg Jackson. Now, this game, we mentioned 14-3 at halftime. The Chargers still in it, but starting the third quarter, this is a key play.
But it's broken open. Fast interference on Terrence Shaw. Got that left hand, that arm ball on Corey Bradford. Immediately, Brett Favre came and capitalized on a great stick throw to Billy Schrader. Give Brett Favre a lot of credit here today, making the throws, capitalizing off the turnover.
Now they're just working the clock. Dorsey Levens picked up 3 on the last carry. Picks up maybe 2 more before Norman Hand gets him. My question about San Diego, and we mentioned earlier whether or not to go to Harbaugh. You switch to Harbaugh, first pass, throws an interception. Now what do? You know, if you don't stick with a guy, you cause maybe more problems for yourself.
Well, once you make the switch, you stay with the switch, and you have to live with it. And Mike Riley, a young coach of this league, will get a better feel for what to do with it, but I don't blame him for making the switch. Eric Kramer moved this team all day long between the 20s, but you can't keep making those bad throws in situations where you can get points.
Third down for the Packers. Dorsey Levens, flags all over the place. He's going to scramble his way to the 30-yard line, but penalty flags before that one even went off. Offside Chargers. Junior Seau.
Offside, number 90.
The Pro Bowl linebacker for the Chargers. Look at his right leg. It's all bandaged up, but he's still in there.
Yeah, he's got that right groin. That's the way that leg is wrapped right there. That's probably a groin injury right there, trying to give it a little bit of support. So Junior out here working out before the game. I mean, he gets himself lathered up now. Hour and a half before the game, he was in full sweat. Dripping before. It didn't take a lot in this heat, though, today.
No, it's a warm day here in San Diego. 3rd and 1 after the penalty. Dorsey Levens gets the first down. Down to the 22-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup by Levens.
You know, Ray Rhodes said today that this Green Bay team has been living on the edge all the way up until last week. And he says, when you walk the edge, sometimes you go over the edge. They fell off the edge in Denver last week. And I mean, this whole team, this whole organization was on eggshells, I think, all week. Were they going to return to a team that had to rely on Brett Favre's arm in the last second to win a game? Or could they come out, establish the line of scrimmage, and make the plays necessary, you know, to win a game and be comfortable in the fourth quarter like they are today?
Levens, his 19th carry of the afternoon. Ball is out. Let's see if the ground caused that fumble. No, Chargers recover. Ray Lee Johnson got a hand in there, and the San Diego defense comes up big. Tracy Simeon with the fumble recovery. Dorsey Levens puts it on the ground, but the Chargers with a chance so far this season. 0-18-1 in the last 2+ seasons, if you want to go back to his tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's been a while since he's won one on the road.
Last away game Ray Rhodes was a part of in a victory, December 1996, Philly against the Jets.
Natron Means out to the 22-yard line. There was some question at first as to whether or not Dorsey Levens coughed this one up.
Well, you can see Levens right here. That ball kind of loose in the right hand. You can see Ray Lee Johnson of San Diego, 99, coming in, stripping that ball. The ball's out. The knee is not on the ground right here. Good call by the officials. I don't know how they see it sometimes like that. In traffic, excellent call. And Ray Rhodes' beeper went off, but it was a malfunctioning beeper. No replay on it.
4 yards on the carry by Means. Harbaugh, his second pass attempt of the day. This one incomplete. Jeff Graham couldn't haul it in. Brian Williams there on the coverage.
A different quarterback coming in, and you get a different quarterback, a different ball. That ball right in Jeff Graham's hands. Trying to get familiarized again with Jim Harbaugh in this offense.
Harbaugh started the first 3 games of the season for the Chargers, had that rib injury against Kansas City, and since then it had been Eric Kramer's team. But now Harbaugh back with his team trailing by 25 here in the 4th quarter. Just trying to impress the coaching staff. Over the middle, Freddie Jones, that'll help. Darren Sharper with the tackle, 21 yards.
That's been their best target today, Freddie Jones over the middle. It's a nice target, too. Here's Freddie right here. Just going to take it right up the seam. Good protection here. Harbaugh, nice job of stepping up, avoiding the rush of Keith McKenzie. A lot of time there to allow Freddie to uncover. And a bright spot in the offense today. He needs to be more consistent with his hands up. Dropped too many easy balls.
Harbaugh to the air again. To his guy, Freddie Jones again. Jim Harbaugh, of course, familiar to many people. 13 years in the league out of Michigan. In that AFC Championship game a couple of seasons ago with Indianapolis, they missed by 1 play of going to the Super Bowl. Ball bounced off with Aaron Bailey's hands in the end zone.
Went from Chicago to Indianapolis, took him to the AFC Championship game, was with the Baltimore Ravens last year. And his whole San Diego community and team happy that Harbaugh and Kramer are both here.
Under pressure, gets rid of it, incomplete. Pass intended for Freddie Jones.
Watched him
George
a lot.
Coates had him, though.
I watched Jimmy a lot last year in Baltimore. In his 12th season right now, really doesn't have great arm strength, but a smart general out there. And a tough guy, will take a hit, stay in the pocket like he is right there. Get pulled down by George Coates and stay on his target. Mentally a strong guy, too.
Well, they've got kind of 2 different quarterbacks, and Harbaugh's more of an in-your-face, daredevil kind of guy. Handed off to Natron Means here. On the other hand, Eric Kramer, usually more of the conservative, just play along with a playbook kind of guy.
It's going to be tough for both these quarterbacks here in this AFC West and throughout the rest of the season if they don't get their running game going better than it is. And Natron Means needs to get healthy for that to happen.
Eric Kramer, 18 of 36, but the 3 interceptions, and they were all in key situations.
That's 7 interceptions the last 2 weeks. They got away with it last week. They lived on the edge a week ago. He was able to bring him back in the last 2 drives, 2 field goals to win it with no time on the clock. That's a dangerous precedent, throwing those kind of interceptions.
Really 7 interceptions in 4 quarters of play. Harbaugh hit hard as he got rid of it. Incomplete. Intended for Jeff Graham, but Tyrone Williams there once again. Williams has had a fantastic afternoon, as has this entire Packers secondary.
I was just watching Brett Favre on the sideline. He was up cheerleading for the play by Tyrone Williams. Well, that's not a fun way to come back from a rib injury. That sends you right back to not being able to breathe at night. Those ribs never really completely heal either once they get damaged until about March or April. You gotta lay on the beach for a long time for those ribs to heal.
I think laying on the beach heals a lot of things, doesn't it? Not many problems when you're laying out there. 4th and 8, the Chargers are going to go for it. They need to get the ball to the Green Bay 37-yard line for the first down. Under pressure, brought down. Keith McKenzie, his 5th sack of the season. Kind of cramping up afterwards, but that's okay. He'll take it. Brings down Harbaugh. The Packers take over on downs. Next, except on the West Coast. Matt Hasselbeck in at quarterback for the Packers. Takes a safe way, hands it off to Dorsey Levens, and there's Keith McKenzie, who just got the sack walking off. He got the sack, and afterwards looked like he was cramping up a little bit.
You're going to see him working right here around this corner. He gets diving here for that ball. He just gets, that's a cramp right there.
Yeah, he looks like Fred Sanford as he's heading off the field, but you can see it's a cramp right in his calf.
Oh, no, that's a painful thing right there. You just want to get off the field, but as long as you keep moving, you keep tension on the muscle, and that thing just keeps building tighter and tighter.
We pointed out it's a hot day here in San Diego. Matt Hasselbeck, his first action this season at quarterback. Once again, hands it off to Dorsey Levens. Hasselbeck hasn't thrown a pass, obviously, since he had played this season, but this is the first chance he's got because the Packers have been close every single game with the exception of last week when they were behind.
Well, the Packers are very comfortable with Matt Hasselbeck as their backup. In fact, they traded Rick Meyer to the Jets, who did have that position. He rose to number 2 this year based on an excellent preseason, where he threw 9 touchdown passes in the 4 preseason games and really moved the team in every single game.
Well, he needs to get him to the San Diego 37-yard line for a first down here. Could be his first NFL pass attempt. And look at him going deep. Corey Bradford.
Right on the money.
Doesn't make the grab. Terrence Shaw gets a hand in there. Look at the smile on that face.
Yeah, we got a chance to air it out. And that's what every young quarterback wants to do. Brett's going, okay, kid, you got a few more years before you get to me. But Bradford, who has real legitimate track speed. Just a flyer here. That ball is on the money. A great play by Terrence Shaw to catch up to it. It's a tough play for Corey Bradford, too. It's like the blimp coming down. It's a tough play for Bradford because he's looking up into shadows right there at that end of the field, trying to find that football.
Louis Aguilar on to punt it to Chris Penn. Penn signals the fair catch. Takes it there at the 12-yard line. Brett Favre has 3 touchdown passes, but he may have a new friend there in Matt Hasselbeck. Favre is done for the day, so why not ice down that thumb? Been giving him trouble all season long, but today it worked well enough for him to throw 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, he's earned that rest on the sidelines, too. He hates to come out. No sense of taking any unnecessary shots on that valuable right hand.
Jim Harbaugh to the air for his tight end Freddie Jones, incomplete. You know, probably the best way to watch that pass play is from the Sanyo Lightship, of course. Celebrating 50 years of doing business worldwide, Sanyo is proud to bring you these spectacular shots live from the Sanyo Lightship.
Yeah, a lot of beautiful views out here in San Diego. I don't know. Do you think you ever get tired of great weather if you live out here, Kurt?
You know, it's one of those days, if it becomes overcast, you probably just complain all day.
You whine about that?
How'd you like to be a weather guy out here? These guys get paid to do nothing.
It's the same every day, isn't it?
Beautiful. 2nd and 10, Harbaugh. Nice catch, Freddie Jones. Seems like they've gotten a little relationship going. That's his 5th pass towards Freddie Jones and his 3rd catch.
But, you know, the Chargers are going to end up today 4-2 in the AFC West. They'll still be on top on that division. But I think in order for this team to make a run this season, you know, they're going to need more from their offense. And when you get down in the red zone, you got to score touchdowns. But I believe that they got to get more out of their wide receivers, the way Brett Favre did today out of Antonio Freeman and Billy Schrader.
What they need here is to convert a 3rd down from the 20. Harbaugh. Pass is caught. 3rd down is converted. Chris Penn with the reception.
Now, their one loss was their home opener against Indianapolis, and Peyton Manning threw for over 400 yards. And I went and watched that tape, and it wasn't like Peyton Manning riddled that defense. The defense had some opportunities to make plays to win that game early in the game, and they didn't do it. And today, offensively, a lot of opportunities to get on the scoreboard and keep pace with the Packers. They weren't able to do that.
Michael Ricks. San Diego Chargers trailing at 28-3. Looks like this is going to be a loss in the books for them. But as you said, they will remain tied with Kansas City for the lead in the AFC West. And right now, they own the tiebreaker, having beaten Kansas City already. They've also beaten the Seattle Seahawks as well.
Well, of course, you know, division records are important. San Diego, first loss in the division today. at 2-1 within the AFC West.
Jim Harbaugh on second down, going deep. Intended for Michael Ricks, but put too much air underneath it, and it's another interception. Darren Sharper, his second interception of the season. This afternoon, the Green Bay Packers defense has 4 interceptions. Jim Harbaugh has thrown 2. Eric Kramer has thrown 2. Doesn't matter who's in there. On Fox. Not much doing for Dorsey Levens there. Michael Dumas with the tackle. Make that Damon Parker. Damon Parker in, and the kid out of Oklahoma gets his first NFL carry.
Yeah, 5th-round pick out of
Holding,
Oklahoma.
number 72, offense. 10 yards, first down.
Well, we mentioned that St. Louis, Tennessee game. The Rams are 6-0. Kurt Warner with 3 more touchdown passes today.
See this? I mean, this is like a magic formula, these quarterback ratings. Nobody can figure it out except for the people that do it. But the max that you can have is 158.3. I mean, Kurt Warner has almost maxed out his ability. Brett Favre never feels like he maxes out his ability. No matter what he does on the field, he always feels like there's a little bit more to do. But he'll take his 3 touchdown passes today.
That's Damon Parker once again. Breaks up a couple more yards.
They're talking to Brett Favre yesterday. He said, well, you know, I went out on that field in Denver last week, and it was an awful performance. He was embarrassed by it. He said it made for a short film session. He goes, Baldy, we had about 33 plays. It took about 30 minutes. He goes, but I knew it was going to be bad. I walked on the field last week and had cotton mouth. You know, I was already tired and dehydrated and the whole thing.
Favre having a nice afternoon with the 3 touchdown passes. Junior Seau, for just the 2nd time this season, going to be on the losing sideline for the Chargers. 2nd and 15, Parker. Damon Parker getting a little workout here. Backup's getting quite a bit of playing time for the Green Bay Packers. Matt Hassel back in at quarterback. Damon Parker in at running back. And this is something, as we mentioned earlier, the Pack have not had a chance to do all season long since all of their games have been close.
Well, Damon Parker, you know, just a rookie. That's their change of pace back in the future. You know, and maybe the second half of this season, a guy that has real breakaway speed. They time him at about a 4.25, and he's a guy that can change things up with Dorsey Levens. Maybe hit a home run for you.
Well, on 3rd down, Matt Hasselbeck needs to get the Packers to the 44-yard line for the first. He's going to run it. And he falls forward across the 45 near the 46, but good enough for the first down. Just like the old days of Boston College, huh?
His brother's the quarterback at Boston College now, and his youngest brother, he said, who is the best quarterback in the family, is a wide receiver defensive back in high school. But here's the competitiveness. You know, he has that same kind of fire and plays the game, you know, like a linebacker, just the way Brett Favre does.
Brett Favre smiling a big smile, happy to see the kid getting an opportunity to play here. He picks up 13 yards on the run. First down from the 46. Parker. Damon Parker finds a hole. Look at that speed. Chased down from behind by big Norman Hand. 27 yards on the run by Damon Parker, but I think you'll hear more about being tackled by Norman Hand downfield. Hey, November 7th, bass fishing is coming to Fox as the top anglers in the world go for over $3.5 million in money in the Ranger Boats M1 Millennium Tournament. Live bass fishing like you've never seen it before. Sunday, November 7th, and the only place you're going to find it right here on Fox. Like a music, we're in San Diego, the sun shining, they're playing great music.
Yeah.
Why would we leave?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out first.
Damon Parker with the run. And the Packers might not want to get out of here the way they're playing today. The San Diego Chargers ready to get this one over with, go back to the drawing board, and get ready for next week's game at Kansas City.
This is the latest in the season that the Chargers were in first place since 1994. Now, they have turned things around. The attitude has turned around in this city. You know, a sellout here today, a real sellout, and you know, they're going to have some good days out here because that defense is for real. They get Rodney Harrison back probably next week, and he makes a big difference in this defense.
Now, the Charger defense still has not given up 100 yards to a single rusher, but the Packers are over the 100-yard mark as a team today. Jimmy Spencer tipped that pass. So one of the things you thought the Packers would not be able to do is come in here and run the ball, and they have done it successfully this afternoon.
Well, they did it because they were able to create turnovers. Trey Rhodes never happy. He's mad at his gum all the time. Well, here's Green Bay, you know, coming up. They have that return game on Monday night with Mike Holmgren. You know, it's going to be, that place at Lambeau Field is going to be electric now. November 1st, you know, the day after Halloween, there'll be a lot of people wearing Holmgren masks, you know. So they get a nice break here, an extra day to get ready for that game after a lot of traveling the last 2 weeks, going to Denver and then coming to San Diego.
Hasselbeck, incomplete. William Henderson doesn't hold on. Gets us to the 2-minute warning, though. 28-3. 1 minute, 59 seconds left to play in San Diego. Ryan Longwell on to attempt the field goal. This will be a 46-yard attempt. It's up. And it's good. So Longwell adds to the Packer lead. They're now up by 28 points, leading at 31-3 after the 46-yard attempt. Taking a look at how they got here, the Packers started out very early, their first possession, as a matter of fact. Brett Favre to William Henderson.
William Henderson on a touchdown pass, and then Levens the 5-yard touchdown run, followed by Billy Schrader off another turnover, short touchdown pass, and then finally the fourth different player to score a touchdown, Antonio Freeman, spreading that one football around to a lot of hungry offensive talent, and that's the summary here today.
Yeah, 24 points coming off 5 turnovers by the San Diego Chargers.
And I think this was huge right here. Start down at the bottom, you know, 4 red zone possessions. They only got 1 lousy field goal out of it. And even that was debatable because of the penalty to Bernardo Harris on the miss.
I'll tell you, everything going the Packers' way this afternoon. Even the field goal here by Ryan Longwell. Check this out.
I think they call this good karma.
Doink?
Yeah.
Just like he planned it, man.
Yeah. Now, it was important for this Green Bay team today to get a win on the road, their first of the season, and the first for Ray Rhodes since December of 1996.
Kenny Bynum with the return. To the 27-yard line, Scott McGarrahan on the tackle. 24 yards on the return there by Kenny Bynum. Brett Favre taking the ice off his hand. He's fine, just needs to kind of keep it iced every now and then. And he certainly today made this crowd very happy here in San Diego. It's the largest crowd ever to see a regular season game here in San Diego. But as you pointed out, I mean, about 20,000 of them wearing green and gold this afternoon coming to cheer on the Packers.
Yeah, and I tell you, you know, walking through the parking lot, nobody tailgates better than the Green Bay Packer fans. It's difficult to walk into the stadium with the smell of bratwurst out there for a big, hungry guy. You get well fed out there.
Hey, trust me, they do good post-game tailgating when they win. We'll check it out. Jim Harbaugh to Terrell Fletcher, incomplete. You talked about the Packers facing Mike Holmgren on Monday night next week. This, of course, the first season under Ray Rhodes. We asked Brett Favre, what's different?
You've won a Super Bowl, and you've been there. And now there's a change. There's always a chance for everything to drop. Okay, we're starting over. And some people are okay saying, okay, it's rebuilding. Well, we don't have to rebuild. We still have some great players. But the young players have to step up right away. And so, yeah, you do worry about it, but it's the hand we've been dealt. And I think Ray's a great coach, but the veterans have to lead.
Well, the veterans are leading them to victory here today. Michael Ricks makes the reception for 12 yards, but it's going to be too little too late for the Chargers.
What amazed me about Brett in that southern drawl of his is how he can imitate Frank Winters.
That, with that New York accent, huh?
Yeah, you know, Frank talks like he's got a mouthful of marbles, and Brett can do that.
Harbaugh, Chris Penn. They say it's incomplete.
Nice hit there.
Exactly. Yeah. He was hit hard by Antoine Edwards, another of their first-round draft picks. Or, excuse me, one of the 3 defensive backs they drafted, I meant to say. He was their first-round pick.
Yeah, there's Frankie. You know, he was roommates with Brett, you know, so they know each other so well. You know, he got the pads off right now and sticking the thumb up, everything is okay. And they said, you know, we've got a young team, and the young guys got to learn how to go on the road where it's mentally tougher, hard to hear, and be able to take the same mentality they have at home on the road.
Harbaugh's pass for Chris Penn incomplete, but this should certainly do a lot towards getting the Packers where they want to be with those young guys. Back-to-back weeks, West Coast trips, if you count Denver last week as a West Coast trip. But they do it. They didn't play well. They go back to Green Bay and have to come back out to San Diego and try and get the job done. And as you can see on the faces of the Chargers, the Packers were the team that got the job done today.
Well, they made the plays that were necessary. And, you know, the Packers were upset last week. They had a chance to have sole possession of first place in the NFC Central. You know, and after coming out of here today, they'll be tied with Detroit for that first place with a 4-2 record.
Harbaugh on 3rd and 10. Needs to get to the Green Bay 49. Gets there and beyond. Chris Penn with the reception. Going to be good enough for the first down to the 45-yard line. The Chargers schedule coming up on Halloween at Kansas City. The two teams tied for first place in the AFC West.
Well, that's a very tough place to play. Going to Arrowhead, and Mike Riley, well, his first time going to Kansas City. Tough place to play. But one thing about Mike Riley and what everybody said about him was, yeah, he's a really great guy. And Mike Riley said, but pro football players want to do two things. You know, they want to be treated right and treated like professionals, and they want to be coached. You know, and one thing about Mike Riley here, nobody's going to panic after this loss here today. They'll go back and correct their mistakes, and they'll be ready to play next week.
Today's game is being produced by Raymond B. Smaltz, not the first, not the second, but the third, and directed by Joe Assetti. And how many of those is there?
There's just one.
There's only one Joe Assetti. Our associate director is Larry Lancaster, broadcast associate Wayne Wilson, and our technical producer Marvin Kale. The studio show produced by Nancy Burstein and directed by Peter Fleckner. The senior producer is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Under a minute to play here. Harbaugh out of the shotgun on first down. Scrambles. Runs out of room. Brought down for the sack. The Packers' third sack of the afternoon. Credit Billy Lyon.
Yeah, Bill Lyon, you know, filling in for Santana Dotson. It's one of the real leaders that's been missing from this Green Bay team. A guy that really can fill those shoes of a Reggie White on that defensive line. Been out with an injury, and Bill Lyon been filling in very well. Not the same leadership or experience of a Santana Dotson.
Harbaugh in and out of the hands of Kenny Bynum. Santana Dotson not even dressed this week, standing in street clothes, and he's a guy that they certainly would not mind having back sometime soon. Had not missed a game in his pro career, is the weird part about it, up until week 3.
Well, he's suffering from those neck stingers. You know, you get that electrical current running down your arms, and you know, he's never had that before, and first time that you deal with it, it's always kind of tough.
Because you don't know quite when you're healthy, because you don't know how it's supposed to feel. They need the Packer 34-yard line for the first. Harbaugh intercepted, the 6th pick of the day by the Packer secondary. Antoine Edwards. The first-round pick out of Clemson with his 3rd interception as a pro. That pretty much seals the fate for the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, and the surprising Detroit Lions without Barry Sanders rallying around Charlie Batch and company in Detroit, you know, tightening up that NFC Central. And it seems like every year, except for last year, you can throw all those teams up.
Yep.
You know, and every week they kind of fall out a little bit different. Green Bay thinks, because of that man's arm, that they should be able to take that division this season.
Everybody in that division, 4-2, 3-3, or 3-4.
See, a lot, you know.
They're into it, man.
Yeah. Hey, you can't get a ticket at Lambeau Field, so you got to go on the road to see your Packers.
And they come here to San Diego, and they do it. That's going to be the final play of the afternoon. The Green Bay Packers looking awfully impressive on offense. Their defense, which didn't get the credit, holds San Diego to just 3 points on the afternoon. Ray Rhodes gets his first road victory in 2.5 years. So Kurt Menefee for Brian Baldinger and Drew Smith saying so long from San Diego. Once again, the final Packers 31-3 over San Diego. Be sure to stay tuned to Fox Sports for scores and highlights with Joe Buck and Ron Pitts right after these messages. For more information on today's game and the latest NFL news, log on to foxsports.com.